Today's lesson is really just about one word, and that is onomatopoeia. Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, the channel that is just all about trying to help you practice and improve your English and achieve your fluency goals. And over the years, I have done so many different lessons, but I have never done a lesson like today talking about onomatopoeia. Now, this is a word, it's a fun word, that you're not going to use this word in everyday conversation, but you may use onomatopoeia. So the meaning of this word is what's important. What it's talking about is that you can use onomatopoeia and use a word to represent a sound. So for example, if you're telling a story and instead of you trying to imitate the sound that you heard and you're trying to explain it to someone else, you may use this word instead, and that word is what imitates the sound. So sometimes these words are used as nouns and other times they may be used as verbs, but they're often related to something specific. Not always, because you can use these words in a variety of ways, and I will explain this as we go through the lesson. I think the first one is a good example. So the first word that I want to teach you is splash. Splash is really related to water. It's talking about the sound of water. If somebody says they heard a splash, then I think, well, maybe something was falling into the pool or the lake. People could also use this as a verb if they're playing in the pool and they're splashing each other. So this is a good example of a word that is certainly a little more specific. If you want to talk about the sound of water, I think quite often you're going to use splash.
Did you hear a splash?
You want to see a splash? I'm going to show you a splash.
Boom. All right, so boom is a word that you would use if you want to talk about a loud sound. And often I think people may use that collocation and they talk about a loud boom. I tend to think about perhaps an explosion.
Oh my God, what was that?
And then we try to get up, power bomb, boom!
If I hear somebody say, well, last night we just heard this loud boom, I might think there was some type of explosion, a loud boom. Or you could use it to describe somebody's voice and say a person has a booming voice, a very loud voice.
So, what does this giant sound like, I mean, do you have a big booming voice?
Or more informally, people could use it to kind of say they're trying to blow someone's mind. They tell them something that's shocking, surprising, and they just may say, boom.
You got a script that's well written about the greatest fire in Oregon history for 90 pages and you never see it. Live inside that fire for 50 pages, boom, home run.
Beep. Now, this is a sound that I think if somebody's using this word, they're going to use it again and again. They may say beep, 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 because what I think about if you're going to use beep, I think about an alarm clock.
What?
When you wake up in the morning, an alarm clock might make that sound, that beep, beep, beep. It's an annoying sound, at least I think so, because I don't like to get up. Then people may also use this when talking about perhaps a car horn. If there's a traffic jam, people are hitting that horn.
Don't you remember me? You used to yell at me for beeping my car horn when I came over to pick up Janet.
They may use beep to describe that sound, that just constant, that beep, beep, beep. But I think when people use this word, if you're telling a story, there's a good chance you're going to use it more than once. It's going to be repetitive.
And Earthlings, I have some news. Beep, 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 beep.
My bullcrap meter's going crazy.
Yeah, it can be quite annoying. Crack. All right. This is the sound of something breaking.
That was a loud crack.
And you could be talking about a stick. If you break a stick, you'd hear that crack sound. But even what I would tell you to think of would be think of an egg. To crack an egg, and you hit it against the side of something, you hear that crack, and the egg breaks.
Take an egg, crack the wrist, Like a whip, you watch. 1, 2, 3, crack! New egg.
If you're saying that you're telling a story and that you hear something crack, you're talking about something that's breaking.
Whoa! This looks good. Whoa!
Come on.
I heard a crack.
Not gonna crack.
Then we have pop. A popping sound, I think, is, to me, it's more of like a sudden and loud sound. Think of popcorn, all right? If you are making popcorn, you're preparing it. If you're listening, that's the sound that the popcorn makes, that pop, 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 pop. You could also use pop to describe things like perhaps fireworks or even gunfire. If somebody is telling a story and they were really scared because the night before they just heard this pop, 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 and they thought it was gunfire. So it's really talking about a sudden, loud, maybe even a little bit of a shocking sound, that pop.
Pop, pop.
I hate
The coat!
What was that pop sound?
I had some hard candy in there.
So whatever momentum the president had coming out of Iowa, just like air going out of a pop balloon.
I don't remember seeing crows around here before.
Oh, big bastard. That's why I got the gun. I'm gonna pop a few of them.
Yoink. All right, this is probably my favorite one that I'm going to teach you today. Yoink is talking about the sound of somebody grabbing something. Now, this is a word that's not really used as a verb. I think people will say this when they are actually doing that action. You grab something from another person and you may just say yoink. And I tend to use it probably a little more playfully when you're just having fun and you take something from another person, yoink.
Wingardium Leviosa!
Yoink! I have the glasses! Yoink!
I'll take those!
Yoink!
Click. This is a very, very common word. It's a common sound. And I think it really refers to somebody pressing a button. And I think a long time ago, the old cameras, you'd take a picture and click, you'd hear that sound.
You just wasted your time and mine.
Click! I just captured the exact moment when you realized you had failed.
Today, I think people often associate this word with the computer. You're clicking on a link, and even when you're using the mouse, you press down and it makes that sound, that click.
Click the mouse with me.
1, 2, 3, click.
Zoom. So this is a word that's talking about a sound of, well, something that's going fast, something that's moving fast, maybe a car. And you might hear somebody say that the cars were zooming by, they were going fast. Or if you're telling a story and you're talking about a plane overhead and it just zoomed right by.
Nimbus the Great, to the rescue!
Zoom! Zoom!
I'll be back before this banana hits the ground.
Gasp. And this word is talking about the sound of air. And specifically, I think people would use it if they're expressing shock or surprise, like, oh, that is a gasp. That is the sound.
Gasp.
Let's do a makeover.
I need you to arrange a meeting without Ryan and Pam knowing.
Gasp. Are you talking about a secret meeting?
Think, if I was an escaped murderer, where would I hide?
Where?
Oh, I have no idea. I just thought if I gasped, I could force an epiphany.
Slap. So this is a word that you may have heard before, but you can use it to describe the sound of two things hitting each other. I think most of the time people might think of like a hand, like that is a slapping sound. And people may think about, well, somebody getting slapped in the face, and you would hear that sound that, well, I don't want to hurt myself, but ow. Yeah, that you can hear that sound. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Slap, slap, boom?
What's slap, slap, boom?
Oh, it's just this thing we used to do to get each other pumped up where we slap each other in the face. You don't have to do it.
I want to go first.
Brothers, make me slap him. You call that a slap? Now both.
So the next time you're telling a story, instead of just talking about the things that you see, use these words to talk about the things that you hear, the sounds that you hear. You can use onomatopoeia. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit that like button or click that like button down below. I'd love to hear that sound. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.